Good morning, Jeffrey Berry, Breakwater Development. We're currently here at 13 Plum Lane in Bath, Maine, which is one of my listings. Trying to give you a real world tour, so we're going to start right here on the entrance to the lane. This is Richardson Street out front. Just through those trees you can typically see the BIW red and white crane for anybody familiar with the property. Down this way is the Holiday Inn on Richardson Street coming in. This is the actual Plum Lane entrance, and we're going to walk down to the house. You'll notice the very large tree as we come into the yard and the pile of wood in the driveway that is currently being professionally removed. It was a liability both on my property and my neighbor's property, and it was in the best interest of everybody to remove it, so that won't be an issue when you purchase the property. Stepping back, you'll notice the backyard and the house. The backyard was completely cleared of all the debris, sticks, rocks, and twigs, and things like that. But it has since overgrown. Very fertile soil, I guess. But coming out back, the pile underneath the tarp is all the old branches. Up in that corner where the higher vegetation is all the composting material, leaves, and that kind of stuff. Coming in here, you'll notice my sign. It's got removed by the tree company. We'll be putting that back over. But that's a good contact information for you. Breakwater Development, Jeffrey at breakwaterdevelopment.com. Anyway, alright, into the backyard. You'll notice it's a nice rectangle lot. I have the fence here. The fence does not belong to me, otherwise it would have been removed and replaced at this point. Coming along here, you'll notice this pile of debris here. This is all the junk that I took out from the basement. I've been in there repasting all of the supports, so those are all new. 4x4 pressure treated posts. Coming along, you'll notice that the foundation could use some TLC, but it's basically sound. All this wood here is what I cut up from the branches that were dropped in the yard. Coming along here, the cement slab going into the rear entrance. And the rest of the property up there. We're going to step down here to give you an overview of the entire house. Again, here's the pile of debris that we cleaned up in the yard. Alright, so doing a quick scan of the house. As mentioned, it's a small 2-bedroom cape. Has a brand new shingling job done by Home Depot Services, the tune of almost $5,000. Didn't want anybody falling off it. I couldn't afford the liability insurance. That's why I had it done professionally through them. Coming up here, this is where the oil tank used to be. It has since been removed, actually K1 to be specific. Coming back around the house to the driveway. And this is the back view of the house from the other corner. Don't mean to rush things, but I don't want this to be too long of a video, so coming back up the side of the house. You'll notice that the meter's been pulled. The cable is here. Basically, this was running right through the middle of the tree, so I had them take it off the pole, which is over there, during the tree removal. Alright, we are now entering 13 Plum. I didn't come in and clean up and all that because I wanted this to see exactly what's going on. So a lot of people have asked me about the stuff inside the house. Everything stays that would typically be in a house, like the refrigerator, the microwave, the dishwasher, the stove. All of it's just simply been detached for renovation purposes. As I mentioned, and you can see for yourself, the house is completely down to the studs. Here we have a brand new electrical box, and it has a generator interlock for legal backfeeding of the panel, which is a beautiful thing. I do that for all of my customers. I'm actually a master electrician. prisonmechanical.com. Prison-mechanical.com, actually, because there's another one. And in here we have basically, I call it the mudroom, which is the rear entrance here. Comes into this little space. They used to have their laundry in here, which of course you could do again. Up above is all down to the studs. A lot of people don't seem to believe me when I tell them it's been completely gutted. Over here, this was the bathroom. This is like that little auxiliary room you saw on the outside, so I plan on moving the bathroom upstairs if I'm the one that finishes renovating. Right now the only heat source is the wood stove, which I use to burn plaster and laths and the wood from the backyard and that kind of stuff to keep it warm while I'm working. Don't need a whole lot of heat. This is the closet entrance. I don't know quite for sure what I'll do. I think I'll be doing a hatch to the basement here. I'm not sure. This used to be a window. I found it when I ripped the walls off. I was a little disturbed as to why they would do that, but then I figured out because there's no place to put a stove. So I will indeed be doing the same thing. I'll be blocking that off, insulating it, and closing it up. But just so you know it exists. This is the kitchen and dining area. You notice that the ceiling was strapped. I found lots and lots of bad wiring. That's why I completely gutted the wiring all the way back to the box. All the plumbing has been stubbed out to the basement, so there's no plumbing in place either. Alright, going up the stairs. This is the second deck. I'll stand up here for a second. Basically, the 2x4s are laid out for what I plan on making for walls. Obviously, if anybody takes over this project from me, they're welcome to do it any way they see fit. The reason I'm selling it is simply because I live in Portland, which is 45 minutes away, and getting back and forth is just getting to be a pain in the butt. I'm going to buy a property down that way. That'll make life easier. But this was a good opportunity to grab it, so I did, and I'm hoping it'll be a nice home for somebody. As you can see, I've already strapped the entire ceiling. I've done it 12 inches on center instead of the traditional 16 because the floor joists are fairly far apart. So I did it for extra reinforcement. Lessons learned. Next time I would have blown all the insulation into the attic space that I took out of the walls. But depending on when somebody buys this house, I plan on spray foaming this as soon as I get back, middle of October. So it may have a spray foam vapor barrier in place by the time you actually come to see it. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful day. Jeffrey at breakwaterdevelopment.com. Thank you.